The love for books. My name is David, and I am 20 years old. Ever since I was a little boy, I have loved books. I remember the first time I picked up a book on my own. I was about 5 years old, and my mom gave me a small picture book. It was about animals, and I could understand the pictures even though I didn't know all the words. That book made me curious. I wanted to know more. As I grew older, my love for books only got bigger. In school, I always looked forward to reading time. While other kids played outside, I would sit quietly with a book. Sometimes, I read to learn something new, but other times, I read to escape into amazing stories. There is something magical about opening a book and entering a new world. When I was 10, I read my first adventure story. It was Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. The story was full of pirates, treasure maps, and exciting adventures on the high seas. I loved it. I felt like I was sailing with the pirates, looking for hidden gold. After that, I couldn't stop reading adventure books. I read about knights, dragons, and even outer space adventures. Books gave me the chance to live many different lives, and I loved every moment. At 14, I started reading books to learn more about the world. I wanted to understand history, science, and even how people think and feel. I found that books could teach me more than any class. One of my favorite subjects was history. I read books about ancient civilizations and world wars. Each story helped me understand the world in a different way. Now that I am 20, I still love reading. I spend a lot of time reading novels, but I also read non-fiction books about philosophy, psychology, and even space exploration. I feel like I am always learning something new. Reading has become a part of my daily life. Every morning, I wake up and read a few pages of a book before I start my day. It helps me feel ready for whatever comes next. My favorite books are the ones that tell great stories about heroes, mysteries, and faraway places. One of my all-time favorites is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I love the journey of Bilbo Baggins. He starts as a quiet, simple hobbit, but through his adventures, he becomes brave and wise. I dream of going on my own adventure like Bilbo, exploring new worlds and meeting interesting characters. Books have taught me so much. They have made me think deeply about the world and my place in it. They have inspired me to be curious and to never stop learning. Sometimes, I feel like I know the characters in the books I read better than some of my friends. That's how powerful stories can be. They can make you feel like you are part of something bigger than yourself. Reading also helps me relax. After a long day at school or work, there is nothing better than sitting down with a good book. It's like taking a break from reality and going on an adventure. When I read, I can forget about all my worries and just enjoy the story. I often share my love for books with my friends. We talk about our favorite stories and recommend books to each other. It's fun to discuss characters, plots, and what we learn from each book. I think everyone should read, not just to study but to enjoy the magic that books bring into our lives. In the future, I want to keep reading and learning. I hope to travel to places I've read about in books, and maybe even write my own stories one day. I believe that books will always be my escape, my teacher, and my best friend. They have already taken me on so many adventures, and I can't wait to see where they will take me next. Books have shown me that the world is full of amazing stories and that no matter where I am, there is always a new world to explore. For me, reading is not just a hobby, it's a way of life. I know that as long as I keep reading, I will never stop discovering new things and new adventures.